What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we'd love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, with the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, I've got to give you guys my ranking of the Monsterverse. So that is the 4 movies that have been released in this series of films. That includes Godzilla 2014. That includes Kong Skull Island. That includes Godzilla King of the Monsters, and finally it includes Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm going to rank these from my least favorite to my most favorite. Once I'm done, once this video is over, go down to the comment section and tell me your ranking of these 4 movies, from your favorite to least favorite to favorite. I don't care how you rank them, just let me know. And we can have a discussion about this to kind of see where we agree and where we disagree. And while you're leaving your comments, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of content, and I want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that I'm doing. That being said, let's get to the ranking. So ranking at number 4, which is the only one. This is the one that I revisit the least because it's the most boring out of the 3. Out of the 4 movies, it's the most boring, and that's Godzilla 2014. I understand what Gareth Edwards was trying to do here, right? He was trying to save. He wasn't trying to blow his wad in the beginning. He wanted to save and save and save and save until the end. And then at the end, he wanted to have this big, awesome, climactic fight with Godzilla where we're all like, what the heck? But the problem is that this movie was made in 2014. We've seen special effects like this movie has before. So he wasn't saving anything new. Basically, he was just irritating us by not showing us what we wanted to see. And as the movie progressed, we got more and more irritated because we kept on spending time with these characters when we actually wanted to be with Godzilla. Now, here's the reality of the situation. The characters in this movie, the people characters, these are the best people characters in all 4 movies. These are the ones that was most interesting, especially Bryan Cranston's character and Elizabeth Olsen's character. But you still got angry because you were spending so much time with them and not enough time with the reason you bought the ticket to the movie. The final fight scene was great. And Godzilla finally using his atomic breath to take out that bad guy by, shooting his atomic breath down the Titan's throat. It was the final battle was great. The use of colors was great. When they were coming down and that red smoke was trailing them, there was so much to love in this. The problem was that they just didn't give us nearly enough of what we wanted, and the movie was far too long to not give us enough of what we wanted. So number 4 is Godzilla 2014. All right, number 3 is Kong Skull Island. This also had some really great stuff in it. I especially like John C. Reilly's character. Crash landed on Skull Island during World War II, fighting a Japanese soldier. The two of them end up becoming great friends, and now John C. Reilly is on Skull Island until he becomes an older person, until eventually he's found by the expedition there. I love the expedition led by Samuel L. Jackson. Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson are there along for the journey. Some great characters, some great casting, and some great actors and actresses playing in this. The problem was that I felt like I felt like the movie had very mixed tones, like very mixed presentations. Sometimes it would be this lighthearted adventure, and then other times it would be like this real dark exploitation of violence and death. And I don't mind either one, but I just felt that the movie really kind of went up and down on the extremes, and it was definitely uneven in the way it was presented. Doesn't mean it wasn't a blast. It was a blast. I had a good time watching it. And just to be clear, I've liked all 4 movies in the Monsterverse, but this one just it was very. It almost felt like there's 2 different movies telling the same story. That's how uneven the tone was. But a lot of fun. Kong Skull Island is number 3. Number 2 is the recently released Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, I really like this movie, but I really like the monster fights. Everything else I could have done without. Honestly, everything else I could have done without. Especially the stuff with Millie Bobby Brown. The stuff with Alexander Skarsgård, I was more into that. I was more into Kong's journey than I was Millie Bobby Brown trying to figure out why Godzilla was attacking people. But at the end of the day, I was really just into the fights. And there just wasn't enough of them for me to place this over the number one movie. So I liked it, and my review is up now, so make sure you check out that review. I just didn't love it like I loved the first movie on this list. Alright, so the first movie on this list is Godzilla King of the Monsters. Guys, I loved Godzilla King of the Monsters. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Now, yeah, some of the people stuff, as with all these movies, is a little boring or pointless or just doesn't really go anywhere. But Godzilla had an arc in this. The purpose behind why Godzilla was in this movie was well defined, and it was clear, and what was happening with the Titans was well defined and it was clear. Where things were a little muddled and confusing in Godzilla vs. Kong, in this one the existence of all these Titans and their purpose for being on screen made a lot more sense. The battles were just phenomenal. Just phenomenal between the Titans. It was just great. Rodan, Mothra, they all had their moments to shine, and there was just so much wonderful about this. And also, Godzilla King of the Monsters felt like there was real stakes. In Godzilla vs. Kong, I never felt like the world was at danger. Now, yeah, Hong Kong was getting trashed, but I never felt like the world was at the brink of destruction. Like I never felt like Mechagodzilla was gonna be this real threat to humanity, the way that King Ghidorah was, the way that Monster Zero was. And so I never really felt like Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong. I never felt like Godzilla was this protector of humanity. You know, he was fighting Kong because of his pride. He was fighting Mechagodzilla because of his pride, if you want to attribute pride to Godzilla. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, he was a defender of Earth. He was fighting King Ghidorah because King Ghidorah was there to wipe out humanity. So it just seemed like the stakes in King of the Monsters was a lot higher, and therefore Godzilla's presence in that movie was all the more important. And the character of Mothra and Mothra's sacrifice was all the more important. And seeing Rodan finally bowing to Godzilla, it meant something. I mean, everything meant more in King of the Monsters than it did in Godzilla vs. Kong, which was just an excuse for two titans to get together and smack each other around. I love Godzilla King of the Monsters, and it's my number one in the Monsterverse. So how do you rank the Monsterverse? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we'd love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.